Avatar from 2009 tells the story of Jake Sully, a former Marine who has lost the use of his legs and is given a chance to start over through an extraordinary scientific program on the distant moon of Pandora. The world he enters is filled with lush forests, strange creatures, and a deep spiritual connection that the native Nausicaa share with their environment. The human corporation exploiting Pandora seeks a rare mineral called unobtainium, believing that scientific advancement and military force justify taking whatever they need. Jake is chosen to control an avatar, a genetically engineered hybrid body that allows him to walk again and interact with the Nausicaa. This experience immediately opens a conflict within him, because while he begins his mission as a spy, he slowly builds emotional and spiritual ties that force him to question everything he believed about loyalty, purpose, and identity. From the moment Jake bonds with his avatar body, he feels a sense of freedom that he has not experienced since becoming paralyzed. His excitement and curiosity set him apart from some of the other humans, who see Pandora only as a resource. Jake's unexpected encounter with Neytiri, a skilled Nausicaa warrior, marks the beginning of his transformation. She initially views him as an outsider and even a threat, but the spiritual signs she trusts persuade her to spare him. This moment establishes a recurring theme. Pandora operates according to principles that humans do not fully understand, and Jake's willingness to learn becomes a critical aspect of the story. Neytiri and the Omaticaya clan eventually allow Jake to stay among them so he can learn their ways. This process introduces him to the deep connection the Nausicaa share with nature through Iwa, the life force that flows through every living organism. Jake comes to understand that the Nausicaa do not simply live in the environment, they communicate with it, respect it, and rely on balance rather than domination. The film spends time showing the beauty of their customs, including the bonding ritual with the banshees and the way they use their neural cues to form intimate connections with animals and the sacred tree networks. These teachings reshape Jake's sense of purpose and identity. Over time, he becomes more integrated into Nausicaa's life, not only learning their language and traditions but forming bonds that go beyond training. The conflict intensifies as Colonel Quaritch and the corporate leaders grow impatient with Jake's progress. They see his relationship with the Nausicaa not as growth, but as a liability. Quaritch offers Jake the chance to regain the use of his legs permanently in exchange for intelligence that will help the military remove the Omaticaya from their home, which sits on top of a valuable deposit of unobtainium. This temptation exposes Jake's inner struggle, because while he longs for his old physical abilities, he is also increasingly drawn to the Nausicaa's way of life, and especially to Neytiri. His moral conflict becomes a central aspect of the film, reflecting the tension between personal gain and a deeper sense of belonging. Jake's transformation becomes irreversible when he completes the rite of passage and bonds with a banshee of his own. This event earns him a place among the Omaticaya and solidifies his connection with Neytiri. Their bond grows into a romantic relationship, symbolizing Jake's shift from outsider to member of the clan. However, his betrayal is revealed when the humans launch an attack, destroying Hometree and killing many of the Nausicaa. The devastation forces the Nausicaa to flee to the Tree of Souls, and Jake realizes that he can no longer remain neutral. He rejects his old allegiance and openly opposes the humans. His decision to fight alongside the Nausicaa represents his complete identity shift, not only physically within the avatar body but spiritually and emotionally as well. One of the most compelling aspects of the film is the connection between Jake and the natural world of Pandora. His decision to bond with Torek, the legendary flying creature feared and admired by the Nausicaa, demonstrates his commitment to becoming one of them. This act earns him the respect of the clan and unites the scattered tribes for a final stand against the humans. The battle for Pandora becomes a struggle between two fundamentally different worldviews, one defined by exploitation and technological dominance, and the other rooted in harmony, respect, and symbiotic connection. The clash is dramatic and visually powerful, highlighting the contrast between military machinery and the organic strength of Pandora's ecosystem. the role of Iowa becomes central during the final confrontation. Although the Nausicaa pray for help, they do not expect intervention. Yet the natural world responds, with Pandora's creatures joining the battle and attacking the human forces. This moment demonstrates that Iowa is not simply a belief system, but a real, interconnected consciousness. The film suggests that the planet itself recognizes the threat and chooses to defend its balance. Jake's appreciation for this deeper truth solidifies his role as a bridge between the human and Nausicaa worlds. His final battle with Quaritch symbolizes the clash between their values, and Neytiri's act of saving Jake in his vulnerable human form reinforces the depth of their bond. By the end, Jake fully embraces his new identity. The humans are forced to leave Pandora, and Jake undergoes a permanent transfer of consciousness into his avatar body through the ritual at the Tree of Souls. This conclusion highlights the ultimate theme of transformation. Jake sheds his old life not out of escapism, but because he has discovered a harmony and purpose that he never found among humans. His choice reflects a broader message about the relationship between technology and nature, showing that progress without respect leads to destruction. What makes Avatar particularly interesting is the way it blends science fiction with environmental and spiritual themes. The film presents a world where every living thing is connected through a biological network, suggesting that life is strongest when treated as a collective system rather than a series of isolated parts. Jake's journey is not simply a physical adventure, but a moral and emotional awakening. His shift from a soldier following orders to someone who fights for balance and respect mirrors real-world questions about cultural preservation, ecological responsibility, and the cost of unchecked exploitation. Avatar uses visual storytelling to reinforce its themes, showing how beauty and connection can inspire change. The lush landscapes, the bioluminescent forests, and the intricate wildlife are not just settings but expressions of the harmony the Nausicaa fight to preserve. Jake's decision to join them highlights how understanding and empathy can reshape personal identity. The film ultimately suggests that belonging is not defined by origin, but by the choices one makes and the bonds one forms.